Hey everyone, it's Dane again. It has been a little while since I've been able to get down here to my shop and get doing any mod work. I've been super busy at work and just life, playing music, all that stuff, which is great, but I just haven't been able to get down here to do any work. But tonight changes all that. So I have a PS1 here, which is a console I have never actually worked on before. But, it's kind of funny. Holidays are coming up here and got me thinking about, instead of buying something, maybe making something for somebody. And as it turns out, my little sister is a big fan of the original PlayStation. When she was in middle school, she won an art contest and won a PlayStation and a bunch of games in the contest. And so she's always been partial to that one. And she never really played a whole lot of games after that. She just kind of stuck to the PS1. So I thought it'd be really cool to get a PS1. I found kind of an old beater here, but I think I can clean it up. And do a PS1 Digital install to it, so we can get crystal clear HDMI out of this, and she can play PS1 games on her modern TV. So that seemed like a fun project to do, so let's jump right in. Okay, first thing we need to do is get this PlayStation cracked open and see if this motherboard revision is going to work for us. It should, but that's kind of the first thing we have to do to make sure that our mod is going to work. So let's go ahead and remove the screws. I've never actually gotten into one of these before, so kind of interested to take a peek. Kind of interesting, this PS1 has a refurb sticker on it. So looks like at some point someone was in here wrenching on this thing. Okay, cool. Wow, this thing is real dusty, pretty gross inside. But looks like we need to unhook our optical drive, which would be this guy right here, our laser. Looks like we've got some other bits. Looks like this is our power board. So we're gonna want to unhook our power. And looks like this is the controller inputs right here. So we'll go ahead and unhook that. And then these would be the lines for our optical drive here. Oh wow, okay, so all you have to do is unhook those and it lifts right off. Pretty straightforward so far. I'm gonna go hit this with some air duster and kind of get some of the dust off it. This thing is kind of gnarly, so I'll be right back. Okay, took the air duster to it. So next, it looks like we just need to remove this base plate here. So we'll just start taking all these screws out. Actually, I've got a better screwdriver for the job here. I like this one. It's got a magnetic tip on it. Now, this is my first time using this new Brio webcam. It's supposed to be a 4K webcam. I haven't been able to tell if it's kind of focusing in the right area. I haven't been able to quite tell what the quality of the autofocus is on this one so far. Hopefully it'll work out good for this. Yeah, this is a learning experience for me on this one. Okay, so let's see if that'll start coming out of there yet. All right, so looks like you grab it up here. That portion is a little bit easier to get a hold of. Then I just kind of slid my finger along this outer edge to get that to come off. Interesting. Okay, so it looks like we have a great big copper ground plane here. Looks like another shield protecting stuff. Looks like that's soldered right directly on there. All right, before I get too much farther, I know in the instructions it says we need to do some modifications to the base plate, so let's do that now. Okay, we've got our plate here. Looks like the first thing we need to do is cut this bit right here. There's a little dimple that pops up. We need to cut that flush with the surface of the board. The easy way to find that is it's going to be right across from this tab right here. So let's go ahead and trim that down. Get out my flush cuts. Make sure I don't get that with that popping out and hit my eye. Yeah, like that. That's pretty good. That's nice and flush. The next bit is we have a tab that we need to bend up. So once you pop that off, Go ahead and rotate it. There's a tab right here that we want to bend up, basically also make it flush with the surface. Let's see what tool will be best for that job. I've got some needle nose pliers, but I think I'll get out the old heavy duty lineman tool. It's getting there. This is almost too big for that job. Let's see, I'll try these needle nose pliers here. Yeah, there we go. There we go, that's pretty good. It's maybe popping up just a tiny bit. I guess I can see if I can flatten that out some. That looks pretty good to me. All right, so we have our base plate ready to go. Okay, let's go ahead and get this motherboard out of here. Looks like to do that, there's a handful of screws back here that need to come out. These look like they're pretty much the same screws as the ones we just removed. So our motherboard is free. And then let's go ahead and lift that up out of our RF shield there. All right, this is the PS1 motherboard. Interesting. I've never looked at one of these before. So this is kind of fascinating for me. And so this is a PU18 by the look of it, which is one of our compatible motherboards for this mod, so we are all set there. All right, so let's go ahead and remove this big copper plane here. Looks like it's just sort of held on with adhesive. And yeah, apparently the compatible motherboards, let's just make sure, I believe they are PU18 and PU20. Yep, PU18 and PU20. Just want to make sure I tell you the right thing. All right, looks like we have removed everything that a screwdriver is going to take care of. And it's time to start heating up the old soldering iron. So let's fire that up now. And I'm going to go ahead and also turn on my solder vacuum, extend that down here a bit, and we will fire that up now. And our iron just came up to temperature. So I think the technique here is we're just going to try to heat these up and then lift until they get solid again. Now be careful with that, because I just noticed that when I did that, I kind of flipped off a little ball of solder right there. So just keep an eye on that. Alright, so this side is free. And the big one over on this side. Oh, interesting, that's actually a through tab over there. You can see that actually goes right through the board. And I'm just going to try and touch the outside of the pad here, because there are these tabs on here that you can sort of poke out the side there. So you just want to kind of heat up the outer edge if you can. All right, I think this is our last one right here. Okay, that was another through tab. Ew, gross, there's a burning hair on there. Take that off. It stinks. Well, you never know what you're gonna find in here. That hair is no big deal compared to some of the other stuff I've pulled out of there. I think it was on the GameCube, the GC Dual video I did. I believe there's a big old spider up inside there, so yeah, you never know. I also had a power base converter that I was cleaning out. It just had mud dauber wasp tubes inside. So anyway, I don't think we're going to be using this anymore, so let's get rid of that. Okay, and then yeah, once you get that big shield off there, you can see it also has PU18 real big. All right, so if you're doing a cap replacement on one of these, now's the time to do it. Looks like we have a bunch of SMD caps on here. These all look pretty good, actually. I'm gonna do a little closer inspection here, but I'm not seeing any issues. Yeah, these caps all look good to go. Cool. Well, that is our disassembly on the PS1. That was a breeze to get through compared to the Wii and the GameCube. Actually, the GameCube wasn't all that bad compared to the Wii. The Wii was that was a puzzle to get into. But yeah, this has been pretty easy so far. I guess the next thing we need to do is actually pull our data port here. That's pretty easy to do. Looks like it's just a matter of heating this up and dropping it. See, I want to make sure I'm looking at the right one because I actually think that is our back of the case. All right, so parallel port, serial port, and our AV is on the right. Okay, yeah, serial port is the one we want to go, so that'll be this one right here. I'm going to fire up the old solder vacuum and we'll get that done. All right, let's get removing this data port here. All right, so first thing we want to do is go ahead and reflow these just to make it a little easier. So our data port has been reflowed. Let's go ahead and pull all that solder. Okay, let's just wiggle these a little bit, make sure everything is completely free. It should pretty much fall right out of there now. Here we go. All right, so that's our first bit of board prep. There's our old data port. Set that aside. Okay, so I think there's only one more bit of board prep that we need to do before we install our mod. And looks like we have a resistor, a really small one, right here. It's next to this oscillator. It's right there. Oh man, yeah, that is so small. I just can't see it. Let's see if we can get a better view. See, it's this resistor right here next to that oscillator. Easy way to find it. Look for this big bank of caps right here. That's pretty good landmark. Go right down to this oscillator, and it's a resistor right above it. And I'm gonna double check that just to make sure I told you the right thing. Pretty sure that's right. Yep, that would be the one. Okay, let's go ahead and pop that off there. This should be very easy. I'm right-handed, so I'm gonna flip the board around entirely. Put a little flux on there, just a drop. And I'm just gonna try to heat both sides and sort of knock the thing. Actually, let's go ahead and put a drop of solder on there. And we should be able to just kind of scoot that right off. Yeah, that is actually very easy to get off there. It just takes a second. So what I did, see if we can get that autofocus to work again here. It worked so good a minute ago. At least it focused on the board okay. Let's try one more time. There we are. So you can see that the resistor has been removed there. That is everything that we needed to do to get our PS1 motherboard ready to install our mod. So I think I'm going to call that a night tonight. But this was kind of fun. You know, this is not very hard to disassemble. Actually, right? Like really pretty easy to get into. But yeah, thanks for hanging out with me tonight. I had a lot of fun doing this. Anytime I work on something I haven't done before, I always find that really interesting. But yeah, and I'm just really excited to make a cool Christmas present for my sister and her husband. But yeah, if you enjoyed hanging out with me, learning how to pull a PS1 apart, I'd appreciate a like and a subscribe and all that stuff. Of course, hit me up in the comments if you have any questions about this stuff. You know, you just want to know like what tools I'm using or how I go about things. I'm always happy to talk with you about that stuff. But yeah, we'll catch you next time when we start in on actually putting the mod board in here. Bye now.